Morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nathan Bluestein. I'm with Pivotal Directions. Quick thing. First, I guess I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I started trading futures about 8 years ago, and the reason for it, long story short, started trading stocks when I was 12 years old, partially because of Frank here, who taught me at a young age, so I really didn't really have much of a choice. But I seem to like it, and I seem to grasp it better than most. And it was a nice hobby for me. And so I did that, and I traded and did very well with a joint account since I wasn't old enough to technically trade my own account at 12 years old until I was. And then I paid my way through school trading stocks and options. I usually don't like to give away where I went to school, but I went to Michigan State University. And my first introductions to futures was at Michigan State University. Now, it wasn't technically in class by a professor. The first finance class that I ever took, I was a finance major. First finance class I ever took at Michigan State, the very first day of class. This was the first finance class for all the students that were probably in this class. It was for like the beginning of finance, the first finance 101, whatever it was. And the first day we come into school, the class, he goes, all right, our class project for the semester is you're each going to get a $100,000 paper money account, and your job is to grow it, or do whatever. Obviously, the objective was to grow it, and then write, a paper on what you did, why you did it, all that fun stuff. And so, by that time, I had gotten into options pretty heavily, and I thought I had this thing won, because we're talking about I've been trading stocks since I was 12. And, I'm in a room with 25 people who probably just decided they wanted to be finance majors. So I thought that I had a pretty good chance of winning this competition. Now, the winner really didn't get much. I think we got like a $25 gift certificate to a restaurant of some sort, and a pat on the back, and obviously an A in the class. But it was a class of about 25 students, and we were competing against a similar class to that at the University of Michigan. So the semester's rolling by, and I'm doing really well. And the second to last day of class, I had grown the portfolio from 100,000 to over $1 million. And now, that being said, it was paper money. I took risks that I wouldn't take with real money. I did a lot of very, very, very aggressive things. But I thought, well, hey, why not? And that was part of my paper, that I did aggressive things. And so, second to last day of class, I walk in knowing that I won this. There's no doubt in my mind. I grew it from 100,000 to $1 million, to over $1 million, and found out. He starts calling names, and the winner is, and my name was not called, and I was shocked, baffled, and the next class was 2 days later. It was the last class of the year, and I actually knew the kid from my childhood who won the competition. And I couldn't sleep that whole night, the whole next night. I couldn't sleep. But how the heck did he do it? I took all these chances. I did things that no one would think about doing, especially at our age, and was able to, grow it to over $1 million. How did he do this? So I went up and asked him the very last day of class, because it was killing me, and he told me he was trading futures. Now, the way that he explained it to me, because I asked him, what are futures? I had no idea what futures were. And how do you trade them? And if you've known this kid, but you don't, but he could still explain it to me nowadays where I wouldn't understand it. And I've been trading futures for 8 years. So I didn't understand a word he said when he was talking about futures to me. I didn't understand how he traded them, anything like that. So I continued trading stocks and options. And then one day on CNBC, I ran across futures again. And they were doing a documentary on these fund managers, these hedge fund managers that were making 1,000, 10,000% a year, hundreds of millions in profit. And I'm sitting here, and I did really well again in the market, trading my own account with stocks and options. Like, how could they do that much better than me? And I looked up, I read into it, some of these fund managers, and again, they were trading futures. So that's when I really got serious into looking into them, learning them, and through my years of study and trading, I've come up with very successful strategies, to the point where I really only trade futures now. Frank will be talking here in a little bit. He still likes to trade options. and I do on occasion, but I'm primarily a futures trader now, and I realized that the kid that won in our class that year really wasn't a great teacher, and his strategy, I don't know what his strategy was to learn it, but futures, I realized, were really not as difficult as he made them sound. And that's what we're going to talk about here today. We're going to go through a little bit of beginners, what futures are, how and why we trade them, and then we'll get into a little bit of advanced things in how we trade in terms of making successful strategies. So we'll get started. First of all, disclaimer here, like any market derivative, there's risk in trading futures, right? Risk of loss. This also says that I'm also not a money manager. I do not manage other people's monies, but I will teach you exactly how I trade successfully every day. Okay? So let's talk a little bit about the basics. Okay? What are futures? I can give you a definition, but it's pretty basic, right? It's a financial obligation obligating a buyer to purchase an asset at a predetermined future date, future price, right? Futures. Future date, future price. Now let's talk about actually how they came about, and a good example will make you understand a little bit of how they actually work. And this is a real-life example of how they got started a couple hundred years ago, actually. Now, I always like giving this example because it's fun, but it's a real-life example, all right? In this example, I'm going to be a pig farmer, and I'm going to have all you be bacon and ham producers. Now, let's say you have your stores in which you're selling your bacon and ham. Now, you have enough supply for the next, let's say, 60 days. You have enough supply, you have enough bacon and ham on your shelves to sell to your customers for the next 60 days. But in 60 days, you're going to need more pigs to slaughter so you can create more bacon and ham, right? Now, you have the decision to make. You can go out at the end of 60 days, go knock on your neighbor's door, your farmer neighbor, and say, hey, do you have any pigs that I can buy off of you? Not knowing what you're going to be paying for them or if he's going to have them. And me, as a pig farmer, I want to know, all right, I'm raising pigs, right? I'm feeding them, I'm breeding them, I'm doing all these things, cleaning them maybe. I want to know that if I'm doing all these, I'm going to be able to sell them. So we're going to enter into a contract into which you're obviously going to be the buyer. Bacon and ham producer, you're going to be buying pigs from me. And as the pig farmer, I'm selling you my pigs. Now, again, you need pigs in 60 days. So you come to me and say, you know what, Nate, I'm going to need some pigs in 60 days. Do you think that we can enter into some kind of arrangement in which we can get that done? And again, future date we're talking about right now, 60 days from now, you need pigs. Okay, and I'll say, you know what, yes. Now let's agree upon a price. And let's say we come up with a price, I'll throw one out there, easy number, $5 a pig. I'll sell you my pigs for $5 in 60 days from now, and I'll deliver 30 pigs. That's how many you need, that's how many you'll get. So we have this contract now. It's a 60-day contract where I'm going to deliver 30 pigs to you, and you're going to give me $5 per pig at the end of this contract. Now, let's say after we shake hands, we sign this contract, it's legally binding contract. Let's say 20 days into it, or 20 days into our contract, and let's say there's this disease, swine flu, right? Where pigs are dying off left and right, but people still want their bacon and ham. It's not discouraging them from eating bacon and ham. It's delicious. Put it on burgers, put it, next to eggs. Everybody wants bacon and ham. But what's that going to do? If my pigs are dying off, what's that going to do to the price of the pigs now? It's going to make them go up, right? So the price of pigs goes to $7 a pig. Again, we have a contract where you're going to be paying $5 per pig in 60 days. Okay, so we're 20 days into this, and I'm already knowing that I'm losing money on this. You guys are happy because if you were going to go out today and knock on a farmer's door and say, I want pigs, they're going to charge you $7. Where we have this contract for $5 a pig. I'm not exactly enjoying this because I'm giving away my pigs cheaper than they should be. But you know what? I still have 40 days. The doctors, the vets are going to figure out what's going on. Scientists, they're going to fix this swine flu. And let's say another 20 days goes by, and it's just getting worse. It's spreading. Farm to farm, it's jumping all over the place. Pigs are dying left and right. What does that do again? Price of pigs goes up. Now they're at $10 a pig, and we have 20 days until I have to deliver this contract. Again, you're loving it. You're getting them from half of what they're worth. Half of what they're worth, and I'm giving them away pretty much. You're getting a 50% discount. Now, I'm not happy, and I have 20 days until this contract comes up. Now, as the initial seller of this contract, I can maybe come to you and say, you know what, bacon and ham producers, I know we have this contract and it's going to come due in 20 days, but do me a favor. The price, the speculation out there is the price of pigs is going to go to $20 a pig. They can't figure out what's going on with the swine flu thing. Speculation is it's going to the moon, and I'm going to be able to sell my pigs for $1 gazillion. So will you let me buy back this contract from you? And you might say, you know what? Yes, but it's going to cost you $10. Now, again, you're not going to get your pigs, and you're going to have to go to the spot market and get your pigs. But you just made money without having to do anything except for having a contract with me. Or you can say, you know what? No, I want to pay $5 per pig, so I'm going to let this contract come due, and you're going to give me 30 pigs, and I'm going to give you $5 per pig. Okay? These were real-life examples that happened hundreds of years ago. Okay? Now let's say again, now we're going to go on the other side of this. We have our same contract. We just shook hands. 60 days, you're going to get 30 pigs. I'm going to give you $5. But now let's say there's a new fad diet in town, and no one wants to eat bacon and ham. Okay? This says bacon and ham, puts on the weight, all that fun stuff. What's that going to do? If no one wants your product, but I have pigs galore, it's going to make the price of pigs go down, right? So it goes down to $4 per pig. This is 20 days into our contract. So we still have 40 days left. And you can say, I understand I'm paying $5. They're worth $4. I could go and get them for $4 right now. But it's a fad diet. Like all fad diets, it's going to go the way of the buffalo. It's not going to last. And let's say 20 days later, now 40 days into the contract, Oprah got a hold of this book. And she's jumping up and down, on her show saying how much she's never eaten bacon and ham again, and encourages all of her listeners and readers and viewers to never eat bacon and ham ever again. And it starts to spread. Again, what does that do? I'm not having any issues raising my pigs. I have a plethora of pigs, but nobody wants your product. So what does that do? Again, to the price of pigs, it makes them drop. And now they're $3 a pig. And now the speculation is doctors are starting to view this new diet, and they say, oh, bacon and ham, it causes cancer. It does all these bad things that you don't want, high cholesterol, all that fun stuff, which is that happens to be true. But the speculation is that the price of pigs are going to go to 50 cents a pig. Now, you might be saying, you know what? Since I was initial buyer of this contract, Nate, as our pig farmer, I know we have this agreement here. I understand that we have this agreement, but the price of pigs is just coming way down, and I feel I'm gonna be eating it big time. I'm not going to be able to recoup my costs. So can you do me a favor and sell me this contract? And I might say, you know what? Okay, we initially had a deal for $5. Pay me $5 a pig, plus an extra $1 or $2, and then you can go out. This contract will be over. And you can go out and buy your pigs for whatever is on the spot market. You can go knock on your neighbor's door and buy pigs for whatever you want. Or I can say, you know what? No. We have a contract, and I'm going to make you live up to it. So in 20 days from now, we're going to go ahead and execute this contract. I'm going to give you 30 pigs as promised, and you're going to give me $5 per pig. Okay?